What is up, guys? John here, aka Bruce Lee. We're back with another video reaction. This is Punisher Season 2, Episode 1. We're going to give it a breakdown based on two criteria: how realistic the martial arts moves are overall, and how entertaining the fight scene is, since that's the main purpose of the movie. I'm a kickboxing teacher and Muay Thai fighter here in Canada, and this is the breakdown. Let's go. I love this iteration of the Punisher. John Bernthal here does such a good job.
How would she? No, I'm pretty sure.
I think you guys have the wrong person.
You wish we did.
Those girls are tall. Yeah. Good stuff here, and super quick stop. Like, you know, a couple things are pretty easy to note. Like, obviously the guy got distracted, so John Bernthal goes in for bang, headbutt. The one thing I will say about like this section right here, where the girl pulls out a knife to defend herself, like, it seems intuitive to, like, if you're being attacked in your home or like whatever, to pull out your own gun, pull out your own knife. But a lot of times, and the reason that they kind of, like, you know, some people or some stats actually try to shy you away from this is because, like, a lot of the time, not every time, but a lot of the time when you try to pull a weapon on someone who has better training than you, they end up using the weapon against you more than you're able to use it on them. So kind of interesting there to note. Let's see what happens next.
No shots.
Nobody mentioned the guy with her.
Two knife wielders. I wonder if he's gonna use the belt like a weapon. Oh, he just wants a brace. Nice. He got both. You see how when he flipped the girl over, boom. Now effectively the second guy that's behind the girl here is not able to do anything. So by putting your opponents into the same field or like the same lane, it does help when you're fighting people in numbers. Of like, if you let them stay like around you, that's way harder to fight someone behind you. But when you kind of get them in the way of each other, you're fighting one person twice instead of two people simultaneously almost. So you see that guy has like no recourse of action. Very cool stuff. Knife gets stuck. Nice decisive actions from the Punisher here. He also snuck in the takedown there. Nice. Yeah, John Berthel's got longer reach, even though the girl's pretty tall. So that's pretty realistic, I'd say. Good dodges. Ooh, she overcommitted on that. Very nice work here from the Punisher. Takedown. I think there was no real reason to do it the way he did it. Like, let's back up for just a second here. The way he picks him up. Oh, I went back too far. Alright, whatever. So when he picks up the guy here, his objective there should have been to slam him down, not push him against the mirror, in my opinion. Because, like, the way this ended up turning out, so let's see what happens again. Like, not much, you're not really doing that much damage, and the guy tries to fight him off. Like, it would have been better if he had him up. That's great, to try to slam him down, like, head against the sink, or even just straight under the ground. You get knockouts like that in the UFC on canvas, let alone, like, tile or hardwood or whatever flooring this is. So, I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity here, but still pretty cool stuff. He breaks the grip on the elbows. Oh, that's savage. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the video so far. If so, please leave a like, because it means a lot to me and supports the channel big time. And please consider subscribing so I can hang out with you again. For now, let's get back to the video. Still got two of them to go. He gets his bystander out of the way. Not bad. Good stuff. I've always loved the way he fights in these scenes. The way he dodges and gets into their guard a little bit here. And actually a perfect example of that. So he does some punches here, and then see, here's the one that's like maybe not super realistic, is that like she's going like way wide in the swing. Like, I think if you have a knife, you guys, would you lead with the back of your forearm here? Like, probably not. You kind of bend the elbow and swipe and get the blade exposed. And the way she does it here, like her arm when he caught it was like straight out like that. So like that's kind of like where the choreography starting to show through. When you're like, obviously for the purpose of this reaction, I'm like honing in critically. Like when I first saw this, I didn't notice that. But anyways, what he did here is that she takes a really wide arc. He gets in within the guard, right? He kind of blocks at the forearm. That's what you have to do when you're fighting someone with a knife. Unfortunately, you have to control the wrist, control the elbow, and stay away from the naked blade there. And we braced up his the belt under his forearm. Like, it makes sense if he needs, like, basically, like, what was it called? Like, I can't think of the word right now, but it's like, you know, like armor that you would put, not greaves, might be greaves, whatever. The armor that you put here just for like blocking or like having some kind of recourse in case he's trying to use his left arm as a kind of like almost like a shield. So this makes sense, but generally speaking, what he's doing is that a lot of these girls are taking wide arcs. Not just this. This is probably the most obvious case of it, but a lot of these girls are taking like wide. Oh crap, my mic. They're taking like wide swings like this, and he's trying to stay within the guard where their elbow and wrist he can manipulate it or kind of counter it without really exposing himself to the blade too much. So what he does here, he ties up the hands, boom, got a hard shot, heartbreaker, that's what they call him. Oh. That's pretty classic, where like he saved like the innocent person, like the untrained person, like, he sneaks up behind the person. I don't know why John Bernthal looked kind of worried here though, because he had plenty of time, plenty of space to deal with this person. So I don't think he was in any real danger there from the last lady. Like, you know, she was starting to get tired, but overall a really awesome scene, you guys. Like I said, it was a quick one. Couple things there. Let's back up a little bit to where he's. Oh yeah, right where he's fighting the two of them. The way he deals with these two is really, really interesting. So nice, like, you know, good parry, and just kind of like goes across with like these big like elbows and sneaks underneath. What I like about this scene as a whole, you guys, and before I get into like the rest of the breakdown, is that, you know, like sometimes in movies, like, you know, I won't name any in particular because I can't think of any at the top of my head, but like sometimes the main actor, the protagonist, will just go in and be like bang, 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 and like one shot or like 3 hits, he like knocks out like each person. You know what I mean? And like what I liked about this scene and a lot of the scenes in The Punisher is that like it seems more realistic, right? Like trained fighters like this, they're not easy to knock out. They're not easy to debilitate. So he's spending quite a bit of time dealing with each individual person. Like, it takes him a while and like multiple engagements with each person to really knock him out or get him out of the fight. You know what I mean? Or in this case, like I think it must have killed the one girl, right? Like, it was not like just like bang, 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 and he's killed 3 people. Like, they kind of like made it like more of a fight. And so even though he seems stronger and more decisive in his actions than the opponents here, it still feels a lot more plausible. Alright guys, let's get into the full breakdown here. So, question of the day: what do you guys think about carrying a knife or a gun for your own self-defense? Is it worth it, or do you believe all those stats about how like having a gun means you'll just like they'll just use it to shoot you? Like, that's a real stat they had out in the States, I believe. So if I'm completely making that up by accident, lying to you guys, I'm sorry, but it's something I heard where it's like when you have like a gun or a knife on you, I think like 6 out of 10 times, or like 55% of the time, it ends up being used. When you try to use it, it just kind of like backfires onto you. So what do you guys think about carrying a knife or a gun for self-defense, or what is the best self-defense situationally? Is it just staying out of trouble? Is it staying in groups, or is it carrying a weapon? I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts below. That's it for the breakdown, guys. On the realism factor, I'm gonna give this 8.5 out of 10. I think it was very realistic the way John Bernthal, or the Punisher, basically was like kind of moving around, dodging those strikes, and kind of being decisive with. And what I mean by decisive, you guys, that like he's not being like he's not trying to feint them out like this. He's going like, you know, like block, bang, bang, and just like it feels powerful. It feels like it's doing something. Like every motion he took kind of felt like that had a purpose to it, if that makes sense. Which I like a lot, because in a lot of fights, like sometimes a lot of, like some of the sword fights I've seen, for example, there's a lot of like bang, 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 like Princess Bride stuff, where it's like it just feels pointless because there's no like they're just tapping their swords together, right? It took for the sake of the show. Like, they're not. There's nothing actually realistic about the combat. Whereas this, they don't do that at all. So very high scores for me on that. The reason I'm giving a 0.5 is just the way, basically the way that John Berthal's dodging those knife hits. I feel like he's kind of dodging it too much and then swinging too wide. So it's like, it's hard to explain, but kind of just feels for me like less realistic. Like if I had a knife, I wouldn't like swing back like this and give myself away. You should want like a straight or as quick of a slice as you can. Like, it's a freaking knife, right? You don't have a hammer, you have a knife, so you don't need to have such a wind up to it. Just in my opinion, I'm not a knife expert. Don't so if someone wants to correct me, do so in the comments and let me know your thoughts. And the other kind of like point I would say is just like so for them, one thing I know about knife fighting, and because they're trying to make these three people, they're kind of like hitmen or whatever, is that they should be like trained to use the knives that they have, and they look a little bit untrained to me in the sense that like most knife wielders I know, they'll try to keep the something about the blade, whether it's the point or the kind of like the long side of it, always, even when they swipe or stab, it always stays between you and your target, right? The blade is always between you. You're not going like, huh, you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna bring the blade to face away from your target. You're gonna use swipes and motions that keep the blade in front of you as much as possible, because it's just practical, right? It's both blades are defense and offense. So they seemed a little bit untrained to me, and that for me kind of takes away from the immersion. So I think 8.5 is a fair score. If you disagree, should I go higher, should I go lower? Let me know in the comments. Entertainment factor, I'm gonna give that also an 8.5 out of 10. I loved this show, like season 1 and 2, amazing. Like, I was gutted when they canceled all of the Netflix Marvel shows. This is a show worth checking out, everybody. Like, it's so much fun to watch. An amazing story. I just thought like this particular scene was a bit quick, and I think it's a missed opportunity here. I think they could have made it a little bit more exciting. Like, they're trying to make John Bernthal like look pretty powerful here, but 3-on-1, I don't know. For me, there was something missing, and maybe it's because I now I'm looking at it. Some of the knife stuff felt a bit unrealistic. Or like, honestly, as much fun as the scene is, like those three fighters all together, they didn't feel like much of a threat. Like, there wasn't that much suspense for me, so maybe that's why. So let me know what your thoughts are below, guys. Again, question of the day: what do you think is good for self-defense? Carrying a knife or a gun, is that worth it? Carrying a knife in your purse, a gun in your purse, knife in your backpack? What do you think of that, guys? Let me know your thoughts. And that's it for now. If you enjoyed the video or saw any value in it, please leave a like, because it means a lot to me. If you subscribe, it means I might see you again, and that would be awesome. Bruce Lee is out, and I'll see you next time.